Because he is that dude.
I know.
Gentlemen, I am Captain Valen, who plays the. Where is that button? There it is. I play Seto, the Eladrin rogue sorcerer, and I am joined by the finest motherfuckers to ever fuck anything. solid. Actually, I feel it needs to be pointed out that Click did exactly what Seto needed him to do, which was point out where they kept the hidden books. Where is the fun in that? Besides, we need to find this manatee. Right, Wally? Let's go get this manatee and figure out what all is what. We can find Newt. He's never been in a city like this before, so I can't imagine he's doing nothing. I, for one, am very excited to see what he's gotten himself into. What? I'm reading. Oh, that's the problem, is this. There we go.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, snap.
Let's go try to find Newt.
Yeah, let's get nudie.
I guess we'll head to the market. I think we know generally where he is.
Right.
I was here, or I was, going to the lake or closer with the insects.
I think when we headed off, you were still at the market because Steve was about to meet you. And I
I
think
was
Steve
kind of
might.
watching it. I wasn't coming
Yeah,
down watching.
I'm trying to remember if you could actually see him or not.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So you're welcome to be heading to the lake, but that would be, yeah, how the situation is. And I would say that the time it takes Seto and Walden to make it to the market, Steve would probably see you walking down and you would be able to head further to the lake before you got exactly to the market if that's what he was doing.
Hey, children,
Yeah.
that one coming here is Master Steve. He sees,
Oh,
he sees everything.
he real good with his eyes, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, don't go
Known
screaming in front
people
of
like
him.
him. They're a bit scary when we get up to our antics, like. We can't get away with as much. I don't like him, you see.
But don't worry, he's one of us. He's on the right side of history.
Ah, that'd be a change for people like that. Yes, yeah. I don't like them perceptive types when they can tell what I'm doing.
Oh, you have to see what he's gonna do about all that water in the lake. He's gonna move everything apart, and then we're gonna go into wherever is at the bottom of it.
We can go see the fossils, yeah?
Fossils, hmm?
Yeah, we got these rumors saying that the reason these folks don't want us at the lake is these fossils.
That sounds something like a fossil would say.
You think the fossils spread the rumors?
Most likely.
I like the way you think, slimy friend.
Yeah.
I
Do you
like the fact you slimy too. It's a good thing to be in these parts.
It's a very good defensive system. If someone tries to eat me, there's gonna get all slimy in his mouth or her mouth.
I'm big on defensive systems myself, you see, as I rolls into a ball like.
I can see you are very hard on the outside, and I clink on his.
And you get a kind of. And his kind of armor casing that allows him a small amount of natural protection definitely is quite hard. You reckon you would have to aim well to get through?
So a good plan would be to present your weapons of choice, prepare your armament before the battle to come.
Oh, we already carry these kind of things on us, like I got my little spear and my little hand crossbows. I'm a more far away person. And me, I got my hammers. I'll be mighty fine with them, I assure you.
I go both ways. Can be far, can be close.
Are you somewhat of a dual wielder, would you say?
I can speed very far, and I can do this. And I take out my sword from my mouth.
They give you like sparkle eyes and clap with their secondary arms.
This is Dragon Slayer.
Have you actually met a real dragon?
Yes.
Man, I sure do wish these fossils were a dragon. Although, the folks be saying there's some kind of titan. Is a titan able to be a dragon?
A what?
A titan. They say it's this massive fossil at the bottom of the lake. I would say by this point, anyone that wants to have caught up with Newt kind of caught up with
Yeah. I don't know. No,
I mean,
dragons are come in different varieties and
Did
sizes.
someone say
They're-
Titan?
Long dragons and shorter dragons.
So
I'm-
the dragons themselves wouldn't be titans, but some dragons can become big enough to be on the scale of them.
But if they were specific about them being some Titan bones, I'm fairly sure it might be just what we've been looking for.
Are these your compadres?
This is Seto. Careful with your stuff. He will try to sell you coal, even if you don't need it.
I like him already.
And this is fuck. I forget. Is there? What's your name? Pipes. It's in my mouth. Sophie, your name?
Wally?
Walden?
Walden. This is Walden. Sorry.
Ah,
It's all right.
I have to ask you, are you able to roll into a bowl with such hard casing?
Of course he can. He's a transformer.
Amazing.
It's like a robot. He can turn into a car.
Seto's just looking at you with like the biggest shit-eating grin. Like, go on there, show for the kiddos. You know, don't leave them. You're not going to disappoint the children, are you?
The giant bugs scared me for a second there.
Can you imagine?
Well, okay. First of all, what's a car?
Like a wagon, but made of pipes.
Is that a thing?
You not you ting tang like Michelle, don't you?
Yeah, kind of.
So you're not designed to roll into a bowl, carrying
No,
such a
I'm-
shell.
I mean, try hugging your own knees. It works for me, and I turn into a ball.
I'm just designed to be how I am.
That
You
last
see
one's-
the children both not be able to understand the logic in, or like the wonder in logic. Like the kind of taller one who is saying about the cling clang of his own shell seems the most confused, whereas the shorter one pipes up and is like, well, if you're a straight shooter, at least maybe we won't have no problems with you. We'll know where we stand.
I mean, I try to be.
legitimately the straightest shooter you'll ever find. In that sense.
What does in that sense mean?
He just pulls out his gun. And then puts it back.
Yeah, that's fair.
So just,
I don't really. Sometimes I throw stuff, but I'm not the most accurate.
no,
Yeah, I get the
you're an
feeling
honest
that we
guy.
will be. Sorry.
I was just saying that he just means you're an honest guy. That's what I'm saying. Straight shooter.
Right. Yeah.
Finally,
So-
make my way down.
What brings you all to the Forbidden Lake? He says with like a...
There's too many of us talking about it right here. We should head slightly off the path if we're going to talk about seeing the sights of the lake.
And we're still looking for that omatic manatee, but I guess we can go inside for a minute.
They kind of just walk you down to like an area that's kind of more shrouded by the farmland, just so they aren't in the middle of the market, because obviously it is illegal. Certainly they would be easily punished for going to the lake. So you kind of come out of the market space and out of the hustle and bustle of people preparing to pilgrimage. And can probably Steve,
Well, I'll tell
As
you
you
right
were the
now,
last-
I'm
yep.
not following them into these creepy ass bushes. I'll chill over here and kind of see what's going on while perusing the market, but keep an eye on
Mhm.
them. But I ain't joining this group of crazy folk.
no problem. I had assumed a little bit, so probably Steve, if you could roll me a perception check.
I did grab something from the farm.
Yes, a cabbage, I believe.
Cabbage.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
30.
good?
A 30 will do it. Steve, as this is happening, you do see Olin start making their way kind of across the paths, kind of keeping an eye out, and when they don't see an obvious sign, they start heading to the library.
Can I still see them?
I would say with a 30, they're on a hill, so yep.
And they
And
see
when
me.
I would say Olin probably does not see you.
No, I'm talking about my boys.
Oh, okay, yeah. I would say they're kind of, it's not so much that they're hidden, it's more that they've gone to somewhere where, like, the conversation noise won't be as easily heard.
Well,
Think of it as, like, more like the spacing of an orchard amount of bushes than a grove that's very isolated.
let's go with this. Do I have a sending stone on me?
Yes, I believe one of the things we worked on was a sending stone for the group. I believe that we got
We have
3
2 for the
made
group.
for the group. Yeah.
Okay,
2.
so I'm gonna say into
Yeah.
the sending stone. You got it. Let's go. Or he's done.
Who would be holding the other stone?
Out of
Probably
those
you.
two, yeah, probably me.
Yeah. So are we setting
Right.
it that Seto and Steve have the
Yeah. And
stones?
then once he looks at me, I'll start walking towards the guy.
Yeah. I'll be like,
Um,
we will have
you
to
guys
check
have-
out the lake in a minute. All right, boyos, and
You guys will need to pause just for a second for me to. Walden, what would you be doing? You're seeing Steve has just pulled out the stone and made a message. Those guys have gone into a bush, and I don't think Steve has actually. Like, you're probably together, so Steve's probably told you that that's where they're going. What would you do in this moment?
I think I would ultimately follow Newt and Seto just to like keep an eye on them.
Mhm.
Not be directly involved, just kind of like following them a bit.
That's absolutely fine.
yeah, they are the voted most likely to kill somebody and think it's funny. So
And tasty.
and tasty. Like, there's a lot of bad things. The two of them together. Like, because he's gonna think it's hilarious. If it was funny he died, it's hilarious he's getting eaten. So, if you hear raucous
Honestly,
laughter,
It's not our fault if we get challenged.
this is true. It's not what
No,
we
it's the
gotta
love
do.
of
We
the
gotta
nature.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, so these children,
Children.
we've mentioned several times they're kids.
No, by the children, along the children. The children are there for support.
Mm-hmm.
The children are our friends. Don't worry.
No, I just find it funny. I just,
It's a good
I'm not the kind of guy who underestimate children with weapons.
understandable.
That's fair, actually, yeah.
And so, yeah, as you make it into this slightly like more covered orchard place, as I say, you're not truly hidden, but certainly there's no close by people over prying ears, and they say to you, what we've heard, you see, about the lake is at night you can see some sparkling reflections on the rivers, like leading down to it. And if you're real lucky, like, you can even see where Paith can be on some of their celebrations. But what we've heard is that some of these sparkling lights show you underground tunnels, sees? We're thinking we might look into excavating one of these tunnels, like, see what's down there, see if it gets us to a fossil.
Yeah, see? Sorry, fuck.
Who was that?
That was Seto.
No, I mean, who was really that?
Oh, it was me. I did
No,
that.
I know, but I'm not sure it was Seto. It was probably another character.
I'm not sure it wasn't Seto.
But yeah, I think so. All right. Underground tunnel sounds absolutely fascinating on the list of shit that's happening. But I happen, and he kind of like ruffles around in the backpack a little bit, and pulls out one of the
Careful, children.
one of
He's
the
about to do
scrolls
Oh, stuff.
of
Covering paper.
what the come on, don't be dumb, Theo. Use your brain mouth. Scroll of telescope. It's a divination. It allows us to see like 1,000 feet or something like that. So we should be able to zoom in on the Paith, and maybe if I knew how better the spell worked, we could use it to
I know how it
see
works.
about the tunnels.
I think it's something like this.
Like this, yeah. Just rolls up this. You just look through the scroll tube, and that's
Sorry, what was?
Oh, the telescope in the scroll is
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, you got to look through the scroll to use it as telescope. I actually really like that. That's fucking sexy. So
That's pretty cool.
when we do that, that's how we're gonna do it for sure.
But maybe we should go to a
Yeah,
elevated area
a better
so
position.
you don't block with buildings and bushes.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's odd, like, they always telling us that we're innately magical folks, but I ain't real good with the magic, like, you might have to show me. Yeah, us two, we have these runes, medallions that kind of seem to interfere with it, like, but it's right useful, because it seems to make us less perceptible by some of these folks, too.
True, and you're gonna want to stay out of sight as much as possible, Larry.
Oh, please let us join in, mister. We can get some finding and we can try and see if we can see the sparkles. I mean, some of yous might need rest and we can wake you up when the sparkles happen. Yeah, let us join in, huh?
Yeah, we could use a nap.
You seem like a real guy. A real stand-up fella.
Indeed. Well,
We
it's
don't wanna
not
be doing
just
these
us,
rules.
you see. It's not just us. It's not just the two of us, rather. We got two more friends that we've got some opinions to have on whether or not they want to take children along. Even heavily armed murder babies that you are.
Alright then, I'll tell you what. If yous meet us by the lake in about an hour, then we've got ourselves a deal and we'll look after ourselves. I've always got Raph here. And I've got Riff. I've had him since day one. From the egg.
Alright. Well, the brothers Riff and Raph.
We're more like family, but not necessarily
Siblings.
brothers.
Alright.
It's difficult to explain. The
Clutch mate?
fertilization process of a beetle. Hmm?
It's a clutch mate?
That'd be most accurate.
Well,
The nursery can hold many clutches. It's hard to I do not wish to go into the mating rituals of my peoples
I'm good on
as a
this,
child. Thank you, I appreciate it highly.
But
At this point, I will say, Steve, you would have probably met up with Olan outside the library.
Probably, unfortunately. Waving. Hey!
I'm gonna run and grab coffee real quick.
Yes.
Well-
Oh yeah, go for it. Yep. Yes. I've read through your papers. I've spoken to the council. It seems we're all in agreement that we will give you diplomatic immunity. Now, I will say that this is specifically to look into Paith, and we have given you permission to investigate the lake, but they do not wish you to interfere with any kind of the debris of the ruins itself. I try to explain that the Mayor Winston has been quite clear in what they've said, and it seems that even Liza has signed it further, but currently that is what I'm allowed.
So look but do not touch.
Yes, you can actually touch the lake itself, but the ruins themselves inside at the center of the bottom, do not touch them. It is at least the limitations of this paperwork.
Fair enough. I appreciate you allowing us to look in this holy land of yours. I know how important this is to you and the rest of the town.
Yes, well, continent in a way, but it's complicated being somewhere in between a resort for religious zealots, but also a functioning village that has to support their noble quest.
Excellent. Well, I thank you again, and if there's anything else we can do to be of assistance, please do not hesitate.
Yes, I might say, if you check in with if you were to check in with the Shrine of the Sheath, they might allow you to take certain amulets and count you as pilgrims themselves. The Shield went more about the bureaucracy. It's best not to have religion too effective of law. But the price of that, of course, is that we can't give you the amulets.
Understood. Thank you for the information.
Not a problem. I shall be at the Shrine of the Shield if you have any need of me.
Excellent. Give him like a little bow.
And yeah, he bows back. He seems a fairly respectable fellow. So I'm gonna guess that Newt, Seto, and Walden and Steve, you would like to regroup as these beetles. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I shall put them there for now. Where would you like to regroup?
I'm just going to meet back up with Steve.
Yep.
Yes, I'll start like I assume we'll probably start like walking towards each other, and then like meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like
so-
while we're walking, I'm just
like
kind of
market-ish.
like, I'm just like fairly quiet for a little bit. I'm trying to like, we're not going with those kids, right? Like, we're gonna check out the lake, but we're not doing it with those kids, right?
They seem capable.
They're kids.
By our standards.
But every time that we've interacted with these fossils, there's been some level of danger.
Not inaccurate. Well, the thing is, we run the risk of them doing it without us, which means we're stumbling over their corpses while we're in there anyway.
Well, we can't. Well, they're not gonna know to directly mess with these fossils. Like they've been in this area for a bit without triggering anything. You know, this town hasn't either. Like, we're likely to unleash something just because that's what's happened every time we've interacted with one of these things, but they're likely not to do it on their own.
Don't worry, they're very tough on the outside.
In fact, Newt, could you give me an insight, having spoken to them the most?
Yes. That's a 12.
I would say your interaction with them last time and this time has kind of spoke to the idea that they're not too worried about what's technically wrong or right. and they might be the kind of kids that want to know why you're not allowed and not just be told they're not allowed. And given that no one gives them a solid answer, there's no real guarantee whether they will or won't directly interfere if they are right about these tunnels. They don't know, and neither do you.
They're alright. They're alright. They know what they are about.
Well, the next time we see them, then I'm gonna let them know what they're truly in for, because they need to know. If they're gonna be involved, they have to know.
It's only fair, yeah. No
Is
mollycoddling.
this conversation
or
happening while I'm there or before they get to me?
Oh, while you're there, I think.
We're having the conversation as we walk to you, so you probably get there partway through.
Okay. So I give the general gist of what happened. That we have the diplomatic immunity. We're looking no touchy. And if we go to the Shrine of the Sheath, we may be able to get amulets that will allow us to approach the lake as pilgrims.
So in terms of the no touching, are we actually going to respect that, or?
I say we take that as it is, but I would like to respect it if we can.
All right.
If we can get the information we need and do our research without disturbing this holy ground that they believe in, I would like to do that.
all right, but haven't we needed to like touch the runes to activate and understand them at every other skeleton? Like touch the bones, I mean, not the runes.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that this is the same. There are many ruins, and each one of them has been slightly different. So
Fair.
let's
But at least
see
leave
where we are,
the
and then go
option
from there.
open.
I say we do some research in the library before we go, and speak to the Shrine of Sheath, see if we can get some more information, and go from there.
Okay.
You're too good a man, Steve. And I don't think I'd be here without it.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll just head over to the Shrine of the Sheath then to get that all squared away.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer to go to the library first, so I have more information before we go to the Shrine of Sheath.
Okay. Yeah. Then we'll follow you.
So I'm going to cast invisibility and teleport, and I'm going to read. No, wait. I don't need to. I could.
No,
I could, and not get in trouble.
we got the Dick-O-Matic.
We got the Dick-O-Matic manatees. So,
That you do.
That's true.
So, Liberi.
Libri.
Biblioteca.
Okay. Honestly, truth. I might do this a little bit balkily, and for that, I'm really sorry. But one sec. Let me just. Is this possible to do? No, it's not. Okay. Is it alright? Do people want like a small human break and then to come into the inside of the library?
I'm
Is
okay
that
with
okay?
that. 100%.
Whatever works for you.
Get a drink, get a pee, yeah, and then
Gonna go
that would be great for me.
Excellent.
Okay, one sec.
We will do that.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. We love you, Sage.
Starting soon. Oh, I mean, be back soon, but y'all get the deal. Hello.
I think we all here.
Right.
Oh,
Dinner made me
Sweet.
spit out my food or my drink. But yes, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you like it, because we're going to give it to you.
Okay.
God, I ask you for one thing. I ask you for one thing and one thing only, and that is to not be given to.
That's fine.
So yeah, you
They have
guys
to earn
enter the
us.
library. They do. Through trials. And you're greeted by Click.
Hey!
Oh, hey.
Did anybody else see that?
Oh.
Oh, this is all you, friend.
Hmm?
And pushes Steve towards Click. Basically, like, Seto can't deal with this dude.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
We were looking to get some books.
I can be of assistance there.
Excellent. and I tell him the list, the list of the books that were in the list. So we were looking for books on the pilgrimage, the Fae, Shadowfell, Titans, the Feywild, anything about town history and the Shrine of the Shield and Sheath, as well as their views and practices, local flora and fauna, the lake ruins, and any historic maps that you have.
Now, some of those would be restricted information.
Manatee!
We do have diplomatic immunity.
Then I shall stamp your immunity that you have passed through here and stamp my own documents to reflect it. Thank you. And yeah, Click kind of sways as they go over, get a little library stamp your document, stamp their own book. And they do go to the restricted section and go, nah, we don't have much on Titans, as is tradition here, but I have things on the Shadowfell and the Feywild.
Okay. Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Click shows you to these books. They pull them out and they set them down like on a free-ish table, having to shuffle aside some other bits. And they flip to first off the book on the Shadowfell, and they tell you a little bit as well. And they say, now, Shadowfell and the pilgrimage have a deep history on this continent. And in the book, can you make me a probably investigation roll, but whoever, because I believe you're all helping, and with advantage because I believe you're all helping.
I'm +3.
Go for it.
So investigation.
I got a
Investigation.
I have a +5.
Okay, so what's it?
Okay.
You do advantage.
Wow, yeah, Wally with advantage.
Roll that. Yep.
Oh, I did only rolled one, but it's a pretty good one. Second one was worse. Okay, that would be. Oh, is it not coming through?
23. 23, I saw it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I saw it in D&D Beyond, but not Roll20.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's okay. As long as it's on the campaign thing, that's fine, because people can see it. It's only if I can't see it. So was it? Sorry, what was the roll?
23.
23. That's a good roll. So as Click's kind of talking to Steve, you see parts that Click's maybe it's because they're not comfortable with talking about it, but you see a part that makes sense, and it seems Click is telling the truth. But it talks about how most of the villages here are directly connected to the Fae. And you see the part which might be making Click uncomfortable to talk about, because it lists the Eladrin as some of the original folk of the village. And it talks about how, much like other mimic insects, whether that's leaf mimics or lichen mimics or bark mimics, the Eladrin mimicked the forests that they lived in to fit in with the Fae just as camouflage, kind of like the Eladrin are more insectile than other elves, and that is part of their adaptation to living around the Fae long term. But it seems that Click is kind of trying not to talk about the elephant in the room. So you see that part in this part with the Feywild. You also see where they're referring to the pilgrimage. This book on the Shadowfell talks about the fact that it's harder to reach the material plane when pilgrimages are made. And it's kind of difficult to piece together at first, but with that really highbrow, it seems like what the book talks about is that the Shadowfell is directly tied in with the material plane as much as the Feywild, but rather than it being like a true balance, it's almost like the Shadowfell is a rot and the Feywild is a bloom. And so, although you have to have the balance of death and decay as much as you do life and birth, there is a limit when it comes to rot, because rot can set in and never leave and stop the cycle. Click then goes to another book and puts those two back and says, this one is about the pilgrimage. And he opens it out, and Steve and Walden Click kind of, because you seem the most engaged with the books, they start addressing you more. And it says, the route around the lake symbolizes the route around the continent that was made to disguise the manatee. The Fey creatures here knew that creatures of the Shadowfell would devour the mana and rot the plane if given access. The rite around the continent's water creates a circle of, how could I say, hiding displacement. It conceals, much like the rite around this lake creates an energy that conceals and displaces this area. I believe you would have passed through it when you came.
I would like to confirm if that is all water on this continent or just here.
Well, I suppose, and they flick to another book when you say this, and this book says elemental on the cover, and they go, it's not to do with just the water, it's to do with the quantity, the large quantity of a singular element like water, or even, I suppose, sand. But that large quantity opens a reverberation, if you will, across planes. It makes it easier to access flowing through because the water is reverberating across all of that plane of water and our material plane as well. It's why when us in the village like to circle around to hide our lake, because it is uniquely more connected to the Fae, because the fossil manner is leaking into the water.
Their loud, audible, exasperated sigh.
I suppose anything that held a large quantity of water could attempt to contact other planes.
Okay.
I appreciate that clarification.
Yeah, that definitely helped a lot.
Hey, Walden,
Yeah.
this is a car. And I point to the little train that is on the table.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Do you like their invention?
Yeah.
Invention. So you guys made this?
Yes, that would be Lund.
Newt, how did you know about this?
Well, people throw the kind of stuff to the sewers.
Yeah, but you weren't in the sewers here.
Well, maybe someone came and with a toy and throw it away.
That'd be a mighty useful invention prototype they'd be throwing away. But never mind, maybe their artificery is more complex than our own.
It's more like one man's trash is another man's treasure, I believe.
Like a horse.
Maybe.
And I ride it like a horse.
No.
Maybe you should get off of that. I don't want you to break it.
Well, Lund may not be quite so pleased, but it is designed to carry and ferry across the lake. Her plan is to create a rail system, she calls it, which she hopes will make pilgrimage safer and faster.
Interesting.
How big is the lake?
Quite large. It'd be at least 16 miles the whole way around. That'd be about 20 kilometers if you were in a different world.
There's like
Paige, I love
30
you.
pipes.
Were there other books that you wanted to look into?
I
Mhm.
wanted to know more about the town history, specifically about the Shrine of Shield and Sheath and their views and practices.
Interesting topic. I have a thesis on it myself. I find it lacking as a system. And like it takes a while for Click to walk down these stairs. Seto, was there a book that you were interested in as well, just to check?
Well, this looks like where they would have the necromancy. And then I looked over here and I saw like a whole thing full of eyes. So I'm really interested in this top floor.
No, that's all right. I'll get to that next then. When it comes to the history of the town, and they get out a rather small pamphlet, kind of styled book, and they say, you'll find anything you need in here that the locals would like the tourists to know. However, and they turn to like get what you assume is what they wrote their thesis using, a rather large dusty tome that they slowly wipe dust off of the cover, and it has a picture of a shield and a picture of only the sheath of a sword on it. And Click gets it out and goes, "Now, the purpose of the Shrine of Sheath is to continue the rite around the lake, to continue the manor being hidden from Shadowfell. It is important. It is why people come from the continent to do it. It is not only here that's hidden, but only here has a larger quantity of barrier. And the shield," and they flipped like past that and go through this appendix and things. "The shield is the council that deals with rights. So you could see them dealing with the two different rights that occur here. The rights of the people and the rights of the magic. Both must exist in unison, which is why they have equal powers and cannot overstep each other's." Seto, roll me perception.
Ooh. I'm gonna look for stuff with my perception. Oh shit, I forgot my passive is 19. That's awesome. Alright, let's try it out. Hey, 25.
Yeah, you find some of these kind of like, it looks to be honest with you, it mostly looks like evolutionary stuff, kind of like more like normal fossils, like fossils of like potentially even more insectoid, less humanoid, and like the kind of like system up into the humanoid variety that exists more in the village, like looking like 10,000 years ago sort of thing. And you see these kind of like bones and stuff, and you don't really see much on necromancy, but with a perception of 25, you see nothing on the School of Necromancy. You don't even see spells that are technically School of Necromancy that are cleric spells. Things like Stave Death or whatever it is. I forget what it is.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Spare the Dying, yeah. So like there are ones like that, and like Animate Dead, where it's like technically like there is a lack of necromancy spells that are theoretically still divine in nature. Like there's nothing. But one thing you do find is that there's a few schools of magic missing.
Oh, alright.
Is it abjuration that's like the big boomy one?
Conjuration?
No.
Like conjure fireballs and stuff?
Oh, maybe.
1 sec. Schools of magic are abjuration, alteration, conjuration, divination, enchantment, illusion, invocation, and necromancy.
Yeah, so abjuration, necromancy.
Abjuration is protection. Evocation is destroying stuff.
Okay.
Oh, so we were both
evocation. Yeah, we were way off. Evocation and necromancy are both missing entirely. You see stuff on divination. You see a couple of bits on illusion, but not much. But you really notice that like some of the most like how to be a wizard. Yeah.
All right.
Newt, what have you been doing while in the library?
I'm playing with this catapult here.
Honestly fair. Honestly fair. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
It's gonna fly up into the second floor with me.
Oh,
Jesus.
Well,
this is the kind of rolls you have to fail.
Kind of, yeah. These are gonna be
all of you hear a large crash as Newt catapults himself onto the other prototype of the train, crumpling by the staircase. Yeah, probably not far off there. Luckily, it seems like that one was more of a model than the other one, but Newt is firmly on the ground, and you take... sorry. 4 points of bludgeoning damage as you catapult yourself across a library.
I'm okay.
Okay.
Nah,
this is library.
normally I would say no running in the library, but let me extend that to no flying in the library.
I fell with a style.
I don't think you want to try to justify this.
I would mighty appreciate you not doing that again.
Seto just
and
yells
being
down.
still.
They never let you get away with nothing. I swear. And you see him just looking over longingly at the catapult. No.
Maybe we should take it to the lake.
Why would you take that to the lake?
So that I can get in it and get launched into the lake real far, swim back and repeat about 47 times.
I know you have immunity, but I would suggest that the catapult system could air a level of disrespect.
I fear it's 30 miles.
Seto knew. Why don't we just like take a step outside real quick? Why don't you join me outside? Just
But it was just I was doing so good with the necromancy. It's just fucking newt.
Those are actually children.
Right.
Seto
He leaves, but he's like shoving Newt with his shoulder. And Seto didn't even do anything. I didn't even do anything. It's all because of you.
Yeah, Newt goes happily outside.
Right. Son of a bitch.
I'll just take them outside and let them
Run
play around.
and, get some air.
Steve, is there anything else you wanted to ask about?
Yeah.
Well, your children have been escorted out.
Is Walden going to watch them? Because I need to know that.
Oh no,
Okay.
he's
I'm
taking them out.
I'm
Yeah.
keeping an eye.
Because I'm like, I can't just have them out there now. Children.
But I was
okay.
doing research.
So following up on the shrine of the shield sheath, what are these amulets I keep hearing about?
Ah, I see. The amulets are what carry a presence of magic around the lake, allowing you to complete the ride as a pilgrim. It is part of the magic needed, ritual needed, to embody the pilgrimage. You do not need to cast magic to do it if you have an amulet, because the very amulet is the circle needed.
I'm outside the window.
What is?
Sorry, it's just the idea of
Maybe I'm
you
missing
like a
something
dog
of
licking the
actual
glass.
Pilgrimage. What is the last step of the pilgrimage that you would need these amulets for?
I think maybe I have not been clear. My apologies. The last step of the pilgrimage is to complete the circle. You start in your reputa with an amulet. The amulet contains a magical circle. You finish the entire journey around the lake. The reverberations of the lake and the mana within that reverberation ties a lock into the plane that disguises us as a continent from the Shadowfell. Once that circle is complete, it creates, if you will, the illusion of a larger magical circle held within the amulet projected across the lake. This in turn, with that reverberation in that water, so mana-fueled it be by that fossil, that it's strong enough to disguise the continent. But the first time it was done with the sea itself.
So the pilgrimage itself is what keeps this place hidden.
Exactly that.
Oh. Thank you.
Not to worry. I believe you would have seen the form of the barrier passing into here. That is also a similar effect to the one around the continent.
So I had a few more books. I'm sorry for taking up all of your time. I know
It
there's
is not
a
to
lot.
worry. I am always appreciative of a one seeking knowledge.
Excellent. So I wanted to know also about the local flora and fauna, the ruins
Yes.
in the lake, and any historic maps you have.
Now, it'd be difficult to tell you much about the ruins of the lake, but my understanding is that they are a fossil of a titan. We are not permitted the information, as we are not permitted to attack without being attacked. it's part of it being a wholly defensive place. It would mean that storing stuff too valuable would incur, danger. Also, as so many tend to pass through with pilgrimage papers, you have to be careful of what you are storing publicly. However, when it comes to the local fauna and flora, most of the place is touched by the Fae. The flora mostly shows signs of colors and lights you would not find around anywhere else. And some say that a rare plant called lavender grows around the lake itself in some spots. I do not know where. I hear that they may even be underground somewhere. It lacks a specific place. Moonlight, some form of shimmering enjoys. It's not something I've seen above the ground anyway. And as for historical maps, I believe we only have modern ones in the library, but my understanding is that there is some form of exit that seems like it must go underground to where these people have sin livened after, and that exit is right by the lake shore by the town. Nah, I hear there's more than one entrance, but I know there's at least one exit.
And are people permitted to go there?
No, not the villagers nor the pilgrims. But we would say that you, with your papers there, like, you'd be allowed to investigate, as you've been given the permission and been identified as being able to take the risk.
Are there any maps of the caves?
We wouldn't be allowed to store them on this premises, but I have, as I say, heard that to the southwest there's definitely an exit that leads closer to the village than the ones on the lakeshore. My understanding is that, much like the ocean, there are caves near the actual water banks themselves. That's why I say exit, because the entrances very much could get flooded.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you and your time.
Not a bother, my gentleman. May I say I enjoy your care.
Hey, Newt, get away from there! Get away!
And you just see Wally just like chasing, arms outstretched, and Newt as they're like running back and forth.
And you just see you should see Seto's echo standing where Seto was.
I think I may have to go look upon my friends. I appreciate
I
you.
understand. I appreciate you took them outside so quickly. You're such fast-moving people.
I didn't do anything wrong.
I just find it funny at this stage. You come out to a scene of Walden like scolding Seto because Seto's like acting up because they do not feel that they are being justly.
Oh no, I meant it when I switched places.
Yeah.
It's just my thing there, and I'm back up looking at the not necromancy books because I felt like I was onto something.
I am going like, I understand you felt insulted, but it's just like when you say things that are disrespectful, it can be difficult for them to like really let us do things, and like we need this information, and it's just kind of going and going. It's just oblivious.
And like Newt is licking the window.
Like yeah. You should behave, Seto.
You should behave. Seto is not there.
We're not mad. We are just disappointed.
Newt, not now.
Newt, not now. I love that it's just his echo too. Like,
are you in the library just to confirm?
Oh, 100%.
No, we're outside the library at this point.
Okay.
I really.
You're in.
No, that's.
I
think
I'll just
Seto
ask
has.
the wind. I'll ask the wind. Was I onto something, or did I find everything I needed?
I would say you found everything you needed for the sake of not getting to worry too much about it. Mhm.
All right, fair enough. Then yeah, no. I took a last snoop and then came back just to be bratty.
Did you like swap back with your echo, or did you just kind of?
He came back like mid sentence, like he. Oh no, I like yours better. I definitely walked out the front door while you're yelling at my echo. Not like talking to.
And we just have to like keep an eye on. I turn to the real you and like, are you fucking serious?
I keep pointing
listen.
Echo Seto.
It just like goes through. It's like feels fuzzy, like your fingers touching like static, maybe. But like there's only a physical matter if he wants there to be, and it's his own physical matter that takes its way. It's really cool, but yeah. But it's like, no, you don't get it though. I was actually doing something, and I had to make sure I didn't miss anything, so I had to go back and check some things. But there's no fucking necromancy in here or evocation. Now, and I understand like. It's a library. Maybe it's not all but every other library has had even like baby beginner spells, like the one where you stop the fucker from bleeding to death. Not my particular purview, but like I know that's necromancy, and that's not in there. There's something screwy.
That is good.
Are we outside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
I made sure like we were away from the librarian before I started talking about like what could be conspiratorial shit.
I don't believe that to be true, Seto. I believe that we are in a Fey plane right now, and that is very, very well hidden. I think we should not even remotely touch the ruins, because I think that could set off a chain reaction that will completely unhide this plane, and that your things such as necromancy and evocation are not here because those would be Shadowfell spells, not Fey spells. We are in a
they had minimal illusion spells too,
and this is the heads to the tails.
All right.
I tell you what, roll me insight, Steve and Seto, but you're not helping each other.
Oh. All right. Inside.
Because you've got different thoughts.
Yeah. No. All right. He's gonna rock me. Oh shit. Yep.
Well, me too.
Well then.
Did we both get a 1?
We both rolled 6s.
Oh my god. We're both.
But I had a plus.
Oh no, my 6 is including my pluses. So,
Oh well.
I rolled a 1 on that one. So that's why I was
Well,
like,
I mean, I feel like that summed up what happened. I would say, Steve, I think you think you're onto something, but you think maybe Seto having different ideas so drastically means that you might not have the whole picture yet. Seto, you're convinced Steve is dead wrong, and you must be right. Everything you've said is right. 100%, you must be right.
You're not even giving me a chance. It's just like the library all over again.
You are right, Seto.
I'll tell you this
Thank
right
you,
now.
Newt.
I do not think I'm 100% right, but I think this is the start of something. And from the information that I got, that's what I feel as far as interference. I think we should get some more information from the Shrine of Sheath. Maybe get some amulets, talk to them. But
we do need those amulets.
No touchy. Stay with no touchy.
Okay.
Like the whole point is to touch
I'm not
the
trying to
bones.
get a whole plane pissed at us.
I know
I'll
that's.
follow that.
Well, the plane wouldn't. See, here's the thing. By what he's saying, the plane itself would probably be pretty happy with us. The town itself, pretty much the exact opposite.
And to be honest, based off of what he is saying, I'm a little worried about Hanka.
In what way?
Because they are about to get a lot of water.
That's a good thing.
No, they're saying it. Ooh, look at you with your big brained fucking A giant face elf. Fucking Christ omatic.
Wait, so
They're going to...
were they locking away the water to avoid this?
That may have been part of Brad's plan, or maybe that was just his way of getting to the other realm. I'm not 100% sure.
And he closed the door
But
behind
it's a
him?
hunch that something that was controlled and contained by Brad may just be free now.
Or something
Steve,
that Brad... Oh. Can I finish my
roll
thought before I
me-
finish it? Shit.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Okay. Maybe Brad imprisoned something that was detrimental to him. You know how he is always using people and things like that. And that's why he needed the water gone. It could go either way on that. But either way, him sealing the water means he knew that it was a conduit to the other realms.
He's also like the good bad guy.
Oh, he's as
So
good
he
as
may
dead.
have had a reason that was detrimental to others. Regardless, this is some information that puts me on heightened senses.
Roll me either Arcana, Insight, or Religion, Seto and Steve.
Said Arcana, History, or Insight? I'm sorry? What did
In
you say?
Arcana, Insight, or Religion.
Religion. Okay.
And Walden, because you were living in the area a long time ago, History or Insight.
Insight's also one. History.
I would say
Oh,
you
four.
can use situational inspiration because you were there and you've heard this whole conversation in the past. Okay, so I've got a 16, a 13. Okay. I'm just gonna wait for the
I'm glad I got numerically exactly 10 above my last roll.
Loved it. Is that on the game? Okay, cool. Sorry, it was just taking a while to load. Right, so Seto, you get the feeling that you're linking together stuff that is definitely making a lot of sense from what Steve's just told you. And as you're talking with Steve, you realize that the others kind of having this natural like fear of what you're saying and knowing what you're saying to be kind of related, that gives you more ideas. And you both kind of think we're on the right track of something. But then Walden, with your role, I would say you realize that Hanker had quite a bit of water before.
Right.
So it's not about stopping Hanker from having the water. Maybe it was about putting that water into a concentrated use and having that large amount of water being in a controlled use. And all of you are kind of talking and you're working this out together and you're starting to put stuff together about these planes and like I think it was Seto mentioned about contacting planes through the water. And Newt, I think at some point where they're starting to talk about water, you think of your home and you just kind of think like, that's right, like it was when the water started disappearing that you started changing, and you remember looking up at the moon and calling it a moon and slaying that dragon with your sword. But that was all when the water started going.
That would be like 1 year ago.
Yeah. But like down from the sewers, yeah, absolutely. So something very recent has been collecting all of that water. Water is being used to contact other planes, and it was definitely connected to their plan in Hanker. And you know that they were trying to contact planes some way or
So
another.
the water thief is here. I'm gonna touch those ruins so much.
I think with your role, with your roles, you might start piecing together that what if this Brad person knew of how Reputer worked, and those portals were part of these attempts to create like communication across the planes, and that maybe part of the reason this library is so empty of stuff is to do with people like Brad and like the other counselors of Hanker.
So there's a chance he collected all that water to come in gruesome.
Yes.
Okay. Loud, exasperated sigh.
Yeah, I think you guys are starting to realize that, like,
This place is
oh,
fucked.
this has been this. Yeah, this could go real bad wrong real quick. Mm-hmm. And you're now realizing this entire journey you've been on the back foot, and this might be the first place you've been where you're on the first foot, because you haven't seen any sign of Brad here yet.
It's because we haven't gone down with the kids into the thing. Oh my god, the kids are the sign of Brad.
No way.
I mean, we don't know
I
that.
don't
but
know.
I doubt that because children, but still.
No, they just have the spirit and the heart of heroes.
We'll see.
No touchy.
We
right?
could tell
Already
them
itching.
to touch. We could tell them to touch the ruins, so if anything happens, it happens to them.
No, because we need to be able to trust the source of information. Last time, there was like I want to say there was a vision of some sort, right? And it needed to be relayed back to us. I think it was Steve touched the things, or maybe it was Jorg, touched the things and like got a vision and then had to relay that back to us. The information, regardless of what we heard them say, we would have to trust, even if they told us all they saw was a wet floppy corkscrew duck dick. Like, so it's an unreliable narrator. We need one of us to touch the ruins, because only essentially Seto doesn't trust anybody, but that isn't one of us. You know what I mean? Because Brad got his little fucking hands into everything in a really weird way that still isn't understood. But whatever he's done, Seto knows he's planned very well for a long time, possibly 100 years.
Yeah, when you were in
when I was just
Grunwald.
when I was just being alived by Steve.
Well, even when you were in the library of him trying to access the records going back a fair 100 years or so. I think it was 150, 200.
Somewhere on there. But yeah, he's been trying this for a while. This isn't something new. Alright, base. Oh, we've got one dilly of a fucker here. Because you know what's going to happen to this town. But you also know what we need to do. Well, I feel like the only thing we can do right now, talk to the Sheath, get the amulet, get more information. But right now it's looking awful fucked, if I do say so myself.
Or at least very sensitive.
Yes.
Um,
That's fair.
Sage, to verify a few, you said it was 16 miles around.
Yes.
How far can I walk in one day?
So D&D normally says it's like not that far because A, it's not real life, and B, you're carrying a lot of equipment, armor, stuff like that.
If I forego the equipment
Ooh.
and did an actual pilgrimage.
Okay, so you don't know the rules of the pilgrimage yet.
Yes, I will get that. I want to preemptively know before I know.
If your character chose to, technically, if your character chose to, technically, you would be able to do that in a day and a half and get a levels of exhaustion for exerting yourself, because 16 miles would take someone like about 10 to 12 hours, so it would technically be more like a day. But it would exhaust anyone. Like, you would be really needing to rest at the other end or having to take a lot of disadvantage on your rolls. The pilgrimage just above table normally takes people 2 to 3 days. So it's like, that's why Reputer is here, just to take a couple of like little bits so people make the pilgrimage around, and it's done regularly, which is something kind of the library was saying about, is that actually people come from all over to do this quite a lot. It's regularly done. So it's not far enough. Well, exactly. So it's done regularly enough, and it's not so far that it takes ages and annoys everyone. But like most pilgrimages, part of it is journeying all the way here and getting through those barriers to come and make that journey. So the act isn't as strenuous as necessarily the journey here, like Mecca and all the rest of a lot of very big religious sites in our world.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries. We will actually finish off there, as it's a good place to cut. And we will pick up at the Shrine of Sheath next week.
For 2 weeks.
Yes. So not next week. Week after, we'll be back.
Okay.
I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's quite a lore-heavy day.
I
hope it was a nice fun.
Good conversation, good like RP between like stuff. There was enough antics to go around. Like everything was good.
Good.
I enjoyed a lot.
And
Nice,
until
nice.
any of the dudes in the Sheath House decide to run their mouth to anybody here, because you know they're talking to my guy all wrong. It's the wrong tone.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, right.
We're little kids.
Yeah, you're talking to my friend all wrong. Gonna take the time. Nah. Dude, I've been trying to hold that back. I love it.
I cannot wait for you to meet the NPC in this place, because it is the culmination of my weeks of trying to learn Southern drawl.
Oh man! So do not miss next week. I don't know how else to put that. Like, just be here for that. Like, not for me, not for us, for that.
For that specifically.
For that specifically. All right.
Oh dear.
On that note, yeah, this is Captain Valen reminding everybody that life happens in every direction. Care for the people you got when you got them. Bye.
Peace.